Take me home, 'cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, 'cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Yeah, where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here?
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. Of course, my name is AJ, one of the mentors here at Bit Trading, and today, of course, we are going to take a look at the Bitcoin technical analysis. As always, it is a new week. Of course, it is. It is of course a new week, which can of course give us some new levels of interest. So of course we will take a look at those as well. It is Monday, the 7th of October, getting pretty close to the end of the year. No idea where this year has gone, but getting pretty close to the end of the year. So let's jump straight on into it. Let's talk about what's going on, take a look at what I'm waiting patiently for, and all of that good stuff, right? So before we jump into it, please do make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Really helps me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this content to you. And of course, if you do have any questions, if you want me to look at anything at any point, please do put that in the chat, and I will be more than happy to take a look at anything that you want to look at. But enough of that. Let's jump into the charts and let's take a look at what is going on, right? So let's start off with how I am positioned in this market, right? So first of all, I'm still very much in that short trade, okay? Still very much in the short trade that we entered up here on the 30th of September, okay? So we did come very close to the entry, which is of course where my stop loss is on that trade, right? I moved the stop loss to entry. We will take a quick look at that. So back here on 9 a.m. 30th of September, that's when we took that short trade. Basically, price was, of course, coming up, lots of new long trades opening up, very, very bullish, very far, a very good rise. It's fine to see that. It's nice to see that, right? But then what we did is we came into resistance, of course, with that daily naked point of control. We started to get a bit of a rejection off of it, whilst also seeing like almost, like 80 million long trades up there in like 2 candles, right? There were, of course, a lot more up there, but in 2 candles, there was like 80 million new long trades opening up, right? Of course, price started to pull back. We then formed the failed auction, which is the trade entry trigger, okay? And then we got that short trade, okay? We got that short trade. We entered into that short trade at $64,500. And pretty quickly actually took a TP1, which was, I'm pretty sure it was the next day. We took a TP1, of course, as you can see there. Updating the team, look at all those longs getting wrecked. You can see, of course, negative delta building over time, right? Volume is increasing, price is decreasing, and open interest is decreasing as well. So all of these are showing us that long trades are getting wrecked, right? Then took a TP2, which I was telling you guys here on YouTube, telling the team as well, $60,400, not a level of interest that I was looking to long, right? But I understand it's a naked point of control. It's a good area to take another TP, right? So I took a TP2 there. As you can see, $3,440 in a profit, which was realized, okay, realized profit. And then I moved my stop loss to entry. So I have, cemented $3,440 in a profit on this trade, okay? That's profit that cannot be taken away from me, right? Cemented, okay? And then, of course, I had, a lot, still $1,300 unrealized in the trade. But yeah, we are actually seeing price actually start to rise. So I have lost quite a lot of that unrealized profit, as you can see there. Am I fussed about it? Not really. I'm very happy with the profit I've taken off of this trade. Very, very happy with that. So yeah, not really fussed. I was willing to risk that. Again, we spoke about this on Friday, right? You of course, you should risk, of course, what you are willing to risk. Okay, I used to use this example of setting money on fire. Right, if you're happy to set $100 bill on fire and you don't care about it, it doesn't upset you. That's how much you can risk. Okay, and maybe it could be $200, and that's how much you can kind of risk. So that applies with risking capital that is realized, okay, my capital. But when it comes to profit, right, it's a little bit different. I'm a little bit more lenient on risking profit because I know what the return can be, right? Again, I've only got, like I was saying on Friday, I've only got $735 in the trade. Okay, and you can see here, this is a perfect example. I only had $735 left in that trade, but okay, you can see profit was 180%. Okay, so you can see there that even a very small amount of capital can give you a very big return, right? Almost 200%. Okay, a very big return. And then, right, if this short trade, okay, was to come even lower, right, that return would be even bigger. Okay, and then say we got a much bigger, of course it would, right? But let's say we got a much bigger pullback, right? That very small amount of money, okay, that very small amount of margin, $735, okay, if held open for a very long time and price has a huge move, can turn into a lot of capital. So yeah, for me, and it's just kind of what I found works, right, that I will tend to hold a small portion of the trade still open. I'll hold a small portion of the trade still open, okay, and if we do not come back down and test and tap my stop loss at my entry price, I will just let that trade go because first of all, it's a very small amount of margin, right? Okay, the profit is looking good, right? But could this, right, very small amount of margin turn into something much bigger, right? You could see, I've had it in the past where, for example, right, the long trades from $41,000 that we had, we also had a long trade from $51,000. By near to the end of that trade, right, there was about $500 margin in the trade when originally, okay, the margin in the trade was 3 to 5. I can't remember, but 3 to 5,000, right? That tends to be what I put into a trade, right? Between like $3 to $5,000, okay. And I only had $500 left in the trade, but that $500 had turned into quite a few thousand, right? So this is again why I'm not too fussed about risking unrealized profit, right? Because I know that in the grand scheme of things, okay, over an extensive period of time, okay, that very small amount of margin, right, if held onto, okay, the trade is held onto, right, can turn into some huge profits, okay. For example, yeah, that $41,000 trade, that $51,000 trade, okay, those two trades that I had from all the way down there, right, and price, okay, from, of course, 51 was tapped again, okay, the long from 51, so yeah, that did end up getting stopped out, but then the long from $41,000, I closed myself. We didn't come down to that, okay, I took the long, right, it was literally from this pullback right here, okay, this pullback right here, then of course took profits on the way up, right, $500 margin left in the trade, and we just continued higher, 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 higher. Okay, and that gave me a return of quite a few thousand just off of $500 left in that trade. Okay, and I could have still had that open, right? And we could see another move up, right? And it could have been even more. It's just, of course, if you're not willing to, risk that unrealized profit, then of course take it, right? If you're not comfortable losing that, okay, because you have to understand you're holding that trade open, so you can still lose that unrealized profit, right? I understood that, okay. But I'm looking at it in a like a longer term perspective, right? Especially on the long trades with this move up here. I was holding those long trades. Okay, maybe a very small amount of margin, but that very small amount of margin can turn into a huge return if held for long enough and price has headed in the direction of the trade quite significantly, right? So that's just something to think about, and it's what I like to do, right? Because it works for me. It's all personal preference, right? If you're not willing to risk 1,300, well, yeah, not really risk, but if you're not willing to risk $1,300 unrealized profit, okay, to see if it can give you a bigger return, then take that $1,300 unrealized profit, right? For me, I was willing to risk it, okay? And of course, we're coming very, very close to the entry price, which of course is my stop loss. If we come and tap it, right, I'm out of that trade, right? I'm out of that trade. But, okay, what I'm kind of thinking, right, is that if we are going to come up a bit more and we're just going to continue higher, I think we're going to come and make another higher high. And of course, we will talk about this as well. So yeah, that's kind of just my perspective on it, right? But this is again a very, very successful trade, very, very successful trade. We came down into that naked point of control. I've marked it on the chart here now as tapped naked point of control. I'm going to start doing this with the important naked points of control. Now, they're all important. Okay, they're all important, and this $60,400 is a perfect example of, okay, they are all important, but not all of them, right, are ones that are levels of interest for you to trade. Okay, $60,400. Okay, maybe many people who look at naked points of control have traded this naked point of control at $60,400, but it just wasn't in my plan. My plan was to look for a little bit lower, 57,850, okay, 56,425, right? That's kind of the zone that I was looking for the long trade. That was my plan, okay. A lot of people will probably say to me, "You're very stupid for looking for that." Well, but I'm not, right? Okay, maybe it may seem stupid to you, right? But for me, it's not. Again, I'm looking for the highest probability trade setups. $60,400. Okay, was there a trade from there? Yes. I was saying at that level, right? There's probably a good trade here, but it's just not in my plan, so I'm not going to take it, right? I'm not going to take it. Okay, I'm sure I could find some confluence on there, right? But it's not in my plan. It's not something I'm looking to trade. I would rather wait patiently for lower prices to get a higher probability trade setup, okay, and then take that up, right, and then take that up to the target, okay. But if I'm taking trades that I don't believe are high probability, okay, or high up on my tier list, then I'm just not going to take them, right? I'm not going to take them because it's not in my plan. It's kind of going against my rules, okay. And if I start going against my rules, okay, then what's going to happen? Right. Well, I'm probably going to become more consistent. I'm going to consistently lose money rather than consistently make money. Okay. So again, if you have a plan, stick to that plan. Right. For me, $60,400. Okay. Perfect example of a naked point of control that I wasn't interested in trading, but we saw a really, really nice bullish reaction off of it. And we got a really nice rise towards the upside. Okay. Now, although it did not give us an indication to take a long trade, okay, because again, it's not in my plan, what did it give us an indication of, right? Well, it gave us an indication of, oh, this is a good area to take profit. Why? okay, because we came down to it, got really nice support. We came back down, support, support, support. Okay, really, really nice support. So this is a really, really nice opportunity to take profit. Okay, so, okay, right, we haven't taken the long off of it, but that has been a very important naked point of control, because what has it done? It's helped us take profit off of a very, very important trade that we've had open. Okay, so yes, all naked points of control are important, but we may not trade every single naked point of control. So that's just something to think about. If I talk about a naked point of control, it doesn't mean I'm trading that level every time. Okay, that naked point of control every single time. Right? I need to see the confluence there. I need to see the reactions there. I need to see what the retail traders are doing there, right? And ultimately, I need to see that trade entry trigger. Okay, if I don't see any of that, okay, then I'm just not interested in taking a trade there. But it can, of course, like it has here, given us a great opportunity to take some profits off of that trade. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. That's kind of where I'm positioned in this market, right? What's kind of happened. Of course, we've seen a nice rise off of this, but yeah, what can we kind of look for next, right? That's kind of like the next important thing. What can we look for next? Well, we do have a few naked points of control below us. Are they levels of importance? I mean, we've got 61,575. That's a new naked point of control. We've got 60,780. That's a new naked point of control. Not really too interested in those two. Okay, but there is a level of interest for me, which is at $60,145. Okay, that naked point of control is a level of interest for me. I need to see what the reaction is like at that naked point of control, but it's a nice opportunity for a possible long trade, right? Possible long trade. I do like it for a possible long trade, but okay, remember, I am still looking for this area here for a long trade. It doesn't mean, okay, I know people are going to lash out at me. I'm not saying, right, this is a price target of mine. Okay, it's again, I'm a trader here. I'm not a price predictor. Okay, a trader. They're two very different things, right? You've got traders, okay, and then you've got the people that try and predict prices, right? Try and predict, oh, we're going to this price. I don't care what price we go to, right? I could, get rid of all of these numbers. Okay, on the left-hand side of the screen, on the right-hand side of the screen, I could get rid of the numbers, and I do not care, right? I don't care what the price is. Okay, I'm not really, it's all price action based, right? Okay, and in terms of support and resistance, again, I don't really like to use that term because I feel like it's thrown about in the wrong way quite a lot. But yeah, again, price predictions. Never looking for, like, okay, right, I may say, I'm looking for this price, so-and-so, and then, of course, I'm looking for a trade at that price, okay? If we see the trade, I take the trade. If we don't, okay, then we can go lower, and then I'm kind of looking for this area for a trade. That's how I look at it, right? I'm a trader. I'm not, a price predictor, okay? So for me, right, I still think price can come down here, right? It's still a possibility. It's still on the cards, right? And this is still a level of interest that I would be looking for a long trade, right? It's still a level of interest I would be looking for a long trade, right? But we do now have a newer level, a smaller level, but still a level just below us, of course, at 60,145, which could give us an opportunity for a possible little long trade, right? We'll have to see if price does come down there, right? Because we may not come down there, okay? We may not come down there, or we may come down there, but a little bit later on, okay? So, of course, we are getting this rise. And if this rise does continue, right, I would be looking for $66,500 approximately to be taken out, okay? I would be looking for price to come up and take out this level, right, if we're going to continue higher. And then, of course, like I've been talking about last week as well, this is another shorting opportunity. Exactly like we got the perfect shorting opportunity here for this bit of a pullback, right? We can, again, look for a shorting opportunity here for a bit of a pullback. Does this mean I'm bearish on Bitcoin? Absolutely not, because we could actually get a nice long trade. We've got naked points of control here, okay? So, support, right? We can see price pullback into these levels. We can get a nice long trade off of a level, and we can look for higher prices, okay? So no, just because I'm looking for a short trade up here doesn't mean I'm bearish, okay? It just means that, there is a reason, okay? There is a reason that price could pull back here, okay? And there is, right? There is a reason. We've got that resistance, right? We've got that naked point of control at $67,300, right? We've got liquidity up here. We know we've got liquidity that's going to be sat up here, right? And at the same time, okay, we want to look for what happens at this level, right? What's the reaction like? What are those retail traders doing? Are we seeing lots of long trades open up? Are we then seeing them get trapped? Okay, or are we just seeing a load of short trades getting wrecked? Whatever it is, okay, we want to see what is happening up here, and we want to get that clearly identifiable reason for price to pull back. Okay, if there's no reason for price to pull back, then there's no need to take the trade, right? So that's kind of what I'm waiting patiently for now. Of course, we could just literally pull back from where we are. We could come down to, this area here for the long trade, right? Okay, I'm in a short trade right now. Doesn't mean I'm extremely bearish. No, okay. Again, I'm just a trader. I'm just looking to take advantage of these movements, whatever it may be. Okay, whatever movement it may be, I'm just looking to take advantage of it, right? Just because I missed, or I wouldn't say missed, just because I haven't taken a long trade from here doesn't make me the worst trader in the world. Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not, okay? This just wasn't in my plan, right? Looking for a rise off of this level. It wasn't in my plan, okay? Maybe it's in other people's plan, right? But it's not in my plan, okay? My plan was this short trade here. My plan was this possible long trade from down here for another higher high, and that is still on the cards, okay? It's still a possibility, right? So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let me just pull up the chat quick. You can see someone's put some. Damien, good to see you back, my friend. Taking a TP1 and TP2 on the original long trade, hitting the GP of the small to the dollar, hitting the GP. So I see. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, look where we're rejecting from, right? Look where we're, these things, right? Just because, okay, people could argue a short trade off of this level, right? People could argue a short trade off of this level, but these levels, they don't just give you trade entries, right? They give you opportunities, okay, to take profits off of trades that you are already in as well. Okay, so yeah, it's really nice to see, price coming into that perfect take profit. We've seen price pull back, and from here, you could see a bigger pullback, right? And then you're going to regret not taking profit, right? Taking profit is very, very important, right? Very, very important. I don't think you can class yourself as a trader until you start taking profits, because that's the only way you're going to make money, right? And still have a short from the high, okay? I've still got my short open as well, Damien. Following the bullish back structure almost to the dollar. Yeah, that's really, really nice to see. Hitting C, really nice. Is that the one you put in there? So just above 64. Okay, I see. Sorry, I think I looked at it wrong last time. I think I was looking at it wrong last time. So yeah, that's really actually, we'll see how this plays out actually. I remember I had a quick look at it last time, and I think I looked at it wrong, but yeah. So we're here, we're at C. So let's see what happens here. Are we going to get this move down to D, where you're kind of looking for price to come to 54,100 dollars approximately. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see how that plays out. Let's see how that plays out. And I mean, yeah, we could reject from here, and we could come down there, right? And it still kind of lines up with the bullish structure, right, that we're in. Because again, look where X is, okay, and then of course the previous low as well. Okay, so you're looking for it to end at, yeah, where are we looking? This one's a bit different actually than this one. Wherever it may end, okay, 54,000, right? 55, wherever it may end, okay, it's still kind of, it does, right, still hold that bullish structure that we're in at this moment in time. Okay, and if we are to be flipping bullish, right, and we are going to get all-time high again, right, of course, this is what we want to continue to hold, right? We want to continue to hold this higher time frame bullish structure because, what has happened for, almost a year, right? Almost a year, okay? When was this, right? March. Let me just get my calendar up quick, just so I can visually see it, right? So, it is kind of almost a year that we've been in this downtrend, right? And if we're going to continue to be in this downtrend, up at, for a whole year, then it's, it's kind of like, what is going on? Because we just do not see this, right? But, if we're going to actually start to form some higher time frame bullish structure, which we are, okay, and we haven't done in, 7-8 months, okay, 7-8 months, we've been in bearish structure, okay. If we want to continue this, we do need to hold this bullish structure, and if we do want to get above 70k and break this bearish structure, then we need to stay in this bullish structure. So yeah, that comes down to that aligns with coming down to that area, holding that bullish structure, okay. And of course, wherever we pivot at, okay, okay, because I do have a few levels that I would be interested in longing below. I do have where are we here? I do have a few levels, like 56,425. Okay, I like that area for a possible long trade, right? And then of course you do have 54,425 if you're looking at it in the perspective of taking it from the low, absolute low to recent high, okay. But if you're taking recent low to recent high, of course we're looking for 56,425 or 57,800, okay. But wherever it may be, okay, wherever that, if we of course see that pullback, wherever we possibly get that long trade from, as long as we hold that higher high, I'm pretty confident that we could actually come up and make a higher high. Wherever we come back and make that higher low, okay, I'm pretty confident that we can come up, okay, and make that higher high. I am confident on that. 54k would be perfect. PCZ, meaning the completion of the bats. Yeah, that would be really nice to see. That would be really nice to see. Damien's backs cook every time. They do, to be fair. They do. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Which, I mean, 54,400 and maybe a little bit below. It's still a nice long trade, right? We could get, price pulling back. We could get a bit of a long trade here for a bit of a rise, and then for it to pull back again, and then possibly a long trade off of that, right? That's kind of something that we could see, right? If of course we do get the pullback. But yeah, holding that bullish structure again, I'm looking for that higher high. So it's not necessarily this pullback is bearish, and we know what's going to happen, right? We know that everybody's going to get extremely bearish on this move down, okay? And not necessarily, right, bearish in terms of opening up loads of short trades, because we know what's happened recently, okay? We know what has happened recently, okay? Everybody is getting very bullish on the rise, okay, and getting absolutely wrecked on the move down, okay? But they're not shorting the move down. They're getting wrecked from being bullish on the move up, okay? So again, we're probably going to see a lot of people get bearish on this move down, but not necessarily shorting, okay? There's kind of two ways that you can look at people being bearish. There's people being bearish and shorting, okay, who tend to get wrecked, okay, off of those shorts. Or there's people being bearish and not shorting, but they're still getting wrecked because they were in a long trade, right? So, either way, they're getting wrecked, okay, whether they're in a trade or not, okay? So that's just something to think about as well. So on this pullback here, we'll probably see everybody, of course, we don't know if this pullback is going to happen, right? But if we do see this pullback, we're going to see everybody get very, very bearish, even if we're not seeing shorts open up, okay? Because we're going to see all of the long trades that long this part here, they're going to get wrecked, okay? And you're going to see, you're going to see everybody getting bearish, but not necessarily shorting, okay? You'll see a few shorts open up, but nothing that's really going to impact the market. The 886 to the exact dot, I saw that. I did see that on your screenshot, is 40,096. It's the exact dollar target. Okay, so we'll see. So yeah, 54, again, that lines up with this naked point of control. Okay, right, it's not the exact dollar level, okay, but, right, what do we do at naked points of control, right? We wick below them, okay? So you could see the candle actually hold it, right? But then you can see a wick below it, right? And you can hold it with the body of the candle, right? So yeah, that lines up with that naked point of control. So we'll see how that plays out. To complete D, love the harmonics. Should also get absorption at that level. Just so much confidence. Exactly. Kind of just this whole area here, that whole zone there is just confluence and support, right? Huge confluence, huge support. Again, we don't know what for 100% certainty that we are going to get absorption into here, but it's looking where we are now. It's looking pretty likely if we do get that pullback there. It's looking pretty likely, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult, right, to say I like this area for a long trade when your zone is between 54,000 and pretty much 58,000. It's a pretty big gap, okay? It's a pretty big gap. And this is, something that I wouldn't necessarily say struggle with, but, it's something that can, I wouldn't say struggle, kind of get on my nerves, right? It's like we have such a big, beautiful area with so much confluence and possibility for confluence for a long trade, okay? This whole area. And I mean, you could ladder into it, right? Again, it's not something I do. I don't tend to ladder into trades. It's just not something I do. If that's your style, then and that works, then that's great. Okay, this is perfect for you. Okay, for me, I kind of just like to get in at an exact level and get out at an exact level. Take profit at an exact level. That's just kind of how I found, that just works best for me. Okay, my emotions, all of that, that's what works best for me. So for me, it's like if price comes down here, I would rather look for the long trade off of this. Okay, if it works, we get a bit of a rise, great. Profit taken, stop loss to entry, and then we come back down, fine. I can look for another long trade here. That's kind of how I would be viewing this area. But the other outcome is, okay, maybe I'll come down, maybe I'll long this, maybe I get stopped out of this, maybe you come down again, then I get the long trade, and then we see the rise off of there. Okay, so I get stopped out of this one here, and then of course this one's a nice winner. Okay, that's also a possibility. And again, there's pros and cons to each strategy, right? If you're getting in at a level, okay, at one certain level, of course you're going to take a loss. Then of course you also have the laddering strategy, okay. That comes with its pros and cons as well. You don't really have the best, like, with a laddering strategy like this, for me anyway, personally, I think it's a little bit harder to judge where to put your stop loss. That's personally why I don't use them. I find it, I just don't really have a judgment of where to put the stop loss. Whereas, if I'm kind of just entering in at one certain level, it's quite easy for me to then find a point to put my stop loss, right? That's kind of why I prefer it, because again, risk management is very, very important to me. But this area is just absolutely amazing, right? I do love this area. Of course, we need to see everything aligning, but it's such a nice area. Even just for a hodl buy, just for a spot buy, okay, that area is just amazing. Of course, still need to see everything align, right? All the confirmation, all the confluence, we need to see all of that. But yeah, I get that. That's only if we get the pullback, right? That's the bearish to bullish case scenario. Okay, that's the bearish to bullish case scenario. And then of course we have the bullish to bearish case scenario, which, bullish to bearish, but still bullish if we can continue to hold that bullish structure, to then of course bearish to bullish. But in terms of broader perspective, it is of course more bullish if you're holding that structure. So exactly like I said to the team this morning in the Discord, right? It's just patience from here, just remaining patient at this time. There's no reason right now to overanalyze the markets, over confuse yourself, over expose yourself to the charts, because the more you sit down and you stare at these charts when there's nothing going on, okay, or something's going on but nothing that you're interested in trading, it's just going to drive you mad. So again, that's why I say it a lot. I like to set alerts. I set an alert, I walk away, alert set, then I will come to the computer and judge what is going on. I will set a level, an alert at a level, right? But I will also set alerts, one or two just before we get to the level, so that, okay, I set my alert, the alerts go off, the first alerts go off. Now I know that we're pretty close, so I can have a bit of a judgment of, okay, are we gonna, tap that level now? Are we like pumping hard or dumping hard to tap that level now? Or, right, do I need to set another alert, okay, maybe at the level, or again, just a few dollars below the level, and then come back at another time? Still could continue higher, but I want to reclaim the monthly to see more strength. So let's see where the monthly is. What level is your monthly, Damien? So I understand we've got a monthly here. Let's get rid of the naked points of control. We've got a monthly. Where are we? At 64,610. Okay. It's tapped. It is a tapped monthly. But yeah. So in terms of trades, okay, in terms of trades, I wouldn't be looking at this monthly. But like you said, reclaiming that monthly, that would be nice. Okay, that would be, I guess, like a nice sign of strength. If we can reclaim that monthly, hold it, okay, that would be nice to see. So yeah, I agree with you there. To be fair, I do agree with that. So, but yeah, in terms of that monthly being a trade, I wouldn't really look at taking a trade at that monthly just because it is tapped. We do have a monthly below us here, 58,954. kind of a bit of a random one. Doesn't really line up with the naked points of control. 8 months we have just been consolidating like this. It's actually unbelievable. We had 6 months of it down here, and then we finally got the big move. But yeah, 8 months of this. Jesus. You put it on the Discord. Yeah, it's that level you have. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, it was probably one of these, wasn't it? Yeah, so reclaiming that would be nice to see. No trade, just better idea on price, action direction. Something just a few weeks ago. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, getting above that, and then getting above that, right? It's like, okay, right, that's a sign of strength. We've got another monthly above us at 60. So again, it's tapped, but you can still use it as a reference of getting above that level, right? 67, 500, let's call it. And then you've got the next one up at like 71, 500. And then, of course, 70K. That's the level that we need to get to, right? 70K is where we need to get to say, all right, we're out of this bearish structure here. That does come with its issues, remember. It does come with its issues, right? We're out of the bearish structure. Everybody's going to be saying that. So that's what we have to be careful of. Break out of the bull flag, right? All of those things we need to be a little bit careful of, because it's how we trade, right? We know what retail traders do. We know they're going to long the hell out of the breakout. So we're looking to find those trap traders. But yeah, getting above 70K, right? Initially, it's good, right? It's what we want to see. We may get above, break that structure, okay? See all of those long trades open up, trap them, get a big pullback, okay? But continue to hold bullish structure and then go higher, right? That's not a great drawing, right? It's not a great reference of how I've drawn it, okay? But we could see something kind of possibly like this, okay? Of course, with a bit more price action going on here, okay? It's a possibility, right? Okay, so we get the big move up, we get the big breakout, okay? We then get the short trade for all of these longs to get wrecked, okay? Maybe it comes a bit deeper. Who knows what it's going to look like, right? And then, okay, maybe we can go higher, right? This is some sort of possibility that we could be looking at, right? That bull flag, predictable breakout traders incoming. Exactly. You just know they're going to come. You just know they are. And I mean, it could play out in their favor, right? It could play out in their favor. But at the same time, we know how it usually plays out. Okay. And we know that they usually get wrecked. So I would, if we're breaking this bearish structure, how I would see it playing out is we get a big pullback and then we go. Okay, that's kind of how I would see it. We could, of course, get a big pullback and just start the bear market, right? That's a possibility, right? But how I would kind of see it is that we break out, big pullback, wipe out all of those long trades, and then we go. That's how I would kind of look at it. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out, right? We'll have to see how it plays out. We've been at a very, very crucial level for 8 months. We've just been at a very, very crucial level, and it's weird. It is quite weird. Again, I don't usually talk about the larger time frame. Okay, so you're talking about it's just a bit weird, right? We haven't been like this in a very, very long time. You could say that we were I don't, it's not even similar to this, because there at least we had, at least we had kind of bigger moves really. But yeah, who knows? Again, I don't care about all of this. I just care about those levels, right? Those important levels. But yeah, I mean, again, just going back to it, it's, do we get the rise for the short trade here, or do we get the pullback for the long trade? That's where it is. Other than that, I'm not interested, right? It's just patience from here for me. Patience, patience. Let's wait and see what levels get tapped. Okay, whatever levels get tapped first, then we'll come back to the order flow, take a look at the reaction, wait for the trade entry trigger. All of that aligns, I will take the trade, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I was going to show you a little a bit of thing as well, like a small thing as well. Let me just make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, so last night I was just going through. I was just because I kind of stopped journaling my trades, and I kind of wanted to start doing it again. Just because I say to you guys that journaling your trades is very, very important, and I don't do it myself, which I think is kind of just depicting the point of it, right? But yeah, everything's in here, so this is kind of my journal, and it's a bit more of an in-depth journal. But yeah, I did have a trade. I did start mapping out things, and yeah, I only got to the start of July, right? I only got to the start of July here. So yeah, that's where I got up to it, because I did it late last night and I got too busy. But this is I was looking at this, and I think the minus one or two trades that I haven't put in yet. I think they're on another account that I took those trades on, so I need to go and find them. But this is kind of how many trades I've taken since the start of July. Add one or two, okay? I'm not too sure. I have to go and check my other account. But it's a very small amount, okay? A very, very small amount of trades that I've taken over, since the start of July, and yeah, it was a bit surprising to see, to be honest with you, because I don't really journal like this anymore like I used to. It's just interesting to see. So I'm going to start doing this now, and I'm going to, of course, keep a log of every single trade I take, and I will show you all of them, of course. And of course, all the proof of this is in that Discord, right? Because they're all put in the Discord in the time, and all of these ones are taken from the Discord in the time. I just kind of want to get this to show you over like an extensive period of time, over a few months, okay, how having your risk management in check, your strategy in check, everything in line, right, you can consistently make profits in these markets. Okay, waiting for those, what I like to call high probability trade setups. You can, right? You can do it. It is a possibility. So again, this is what I'm going to start to do now. Start to share as well my journal. But yeah, I need to fill it all out. I'm gonna go back as far as possible. But yeah, I ran into a point where I was like, surely I've taken more trades, and I have, because then I've gone onto here and I go onto my exchange and I'm like, where's that trade? Like, I've taken the trade on the Discord, but where's that trade? And I'm just thinking, I've got like 5 different exchanges, and I've got one that I use mainly, and then I've got kind of like 2 that I use sometimes as well. So I'm guessing they're going to be on those ones as well. But yeah, I will update you with that once I've got that all sorted. But yeah, again, I'm going to keep adding the trades here on this like calendar type view, and yeah, we'll just to kind of show you the returns that are possible in these markets, right? The returns that are possible in these markets, because not everything out there is not every strategy out there is a scam, right? There is there is a correct way to navigate these markets, and it is possible to extract consistent profits from these markets, but you've got to be very, very smart about it. You've got to be very smart, and you've got to give it time as well. Again, perfect example. This is plus one or two, right? Not too sure. Plus one or two trades. That's how many trades I've taken since the start of July, right? So it's been quite some, it's fair few months, right? So for me, okay, it's consistently. Doesn't matter how many trades, okay. Doesn't matter how many trades you have taken, okay. You could have taken 100 trades in, what's this been? 3 months, right? Just a little over 3 months, or you could have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, possibly, or 9 trades. Okay, doesn't matter about how many trades you're taking. All it matters is what is the return. How much are you making? How much are you risking, and how much are you getting back in return? Right, that's what the important thing is. So for me, it's just a really, really important thing to do, and I'm going to start journaling these all as well. So I will, of course, maybe make a section in the Discord as well for it, possibly. We'll see. But yeah, very, very important thing. And I've got this trading journal as well. I might share that as well, because it's hard. I always found it hard to find a good place to journal. I know there are places that you have to pay for. I don't want to have to pay for a journal. I'd rather just write it on my notes on my phone. But yeah, Notion, there's quite a good layout on here. So yeah, I'll see if I can share that as well. But yeah, journaling, very, very important. I'm going to start doing it now, because I've not done it in a very, very long time. But like 8 out of 10 times the strategy wins under these circumstances. Exactly. Should do more at live time to get deeper understanding to see anything. Should do more at live time to get a deeper understanding to see anything different. Tradezilla is that's the one I've heard about, to be fair. Yeah, that's the one I've heard about. It's got quite. Do you have to pay for that? I don't know. I'll have to look into it, see how much. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, that looks quite good, to be fair. I've heard of it. I've just never looked at it. I'll have to see. But yeah, that's something that I'm going to start doing a little bit more, because I kind of dropped off ever since. Again, I've got another Discord server. I think it's not on this one, is it? This is the this is the bit trading one. So I've got another one, and I used to journal in this, but then it was a little bit difficult, because then it was like I got to like 5 months, and it was like, I had to scroll all the way up here. I really like this, because it was just like a nice freeing way to journal. Because it's I was literally just chatting to myself. That's literally what I was doing. Yeah, I have to pay, but there is a free version. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I'm sure it's not much either. I'm sure it doesn't cost much at all. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. So yeah, I think let's have a look at ES. ES is pulling back a little bit. Nothing too interesting. We still have to remember we've got that gap there, so maybe we fill that gap. Let's see what happens, right? But yeah, I think I will leave that there. We've been live for almost an hour here. So I will leave that there. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you gained some knowledge from this live stream, and I will leave that there. So I will be back tomorrow, of course, Visionary members. I will see you in the Discord and the daily market update as and when I'm needed there. If anything's going on, of course, that's where I will be to update. If you want access to that, first link in the description, second link for the free Discord. But yeah, I hope you all have a lovely, lovely rest of your day or a lovely evening. Well, a lovely evening from myself here in the UK because it is the evening. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, of course, for the next live stream. So yeah, have a lovely day. And just a quick one, Mo. Hi, AJ. Hope you're doing good. What's your entry on the short? So the entry on the short was 64,500. So I can actually, because I put that one in here, yeah, 64,500. So that's when I got into the short trade. Didn't quite tap the stop loss. Well, yeah, I say 64,500, but yeah, it's probably more like 64,550, around that area, right? But yeah, again, it's we're very close to the entry now. My stop loss is at my entry. Okay, so if we come up to it, I'm gonna get stopped out at entry. But yeah, where's the trade here? But yeah, here. If I there you go. So my stop loss, right, is at 64,500 there. 64,500. That's where my stop is. Okay, if we come and stop the trade out, then yeah, I realize $3,451. So not too fussed with that whatsoever. And yeah, like Damien said, hit that like button. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and see you later. Goodbye.
Take me home, cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me.